turn my webcam off there.
Oh, I forgot to call the recruiter back. It's whatever. I'm not gonna call him back.
All right, and 3, 2, 1. Welcome to part 13. All right, let's let's get to it. I could not get Carlos to shut the fuck up before the recording started, and the second I start, he's like, I don't need to talk anymore. Including right now. Now he's doing it on purpose because he's pouting. Anyway, so one thing that I did while you guys, in between recordings, is I got a targeted ad for some amiibo cards. And I was basically trying to test out, make sure it works. So I plugged one in. So it dropped 3 crates, some arrows, and a chest. So, alright, fire arrows is not what I was hoping for, but I guess I'll take it. Are you genuinely in the call or not? I can't cut the bit because I don't know if I have to reach out to you now. This motherfucker. I swear to God, YouTube. I swear. The second we started recording is when he stopped talking. He's gonna get a firm talking to. Hey, that was the first time we got a blue or green rupees. That's pretty funny. Okay, some arrows. But yeah, so I basically bought a bunch of NFC cards that and I recommend you do the same, by the way, if you're interested in getting these, because they give you items in Breath of the Wild. They're supposed to give you items in Tears of the Kingdom as well. The basic idea being that they kind of spoofed the things from the amiibos, and because of that, you can use them to get free items and stuff. So I'll give you an example. You basically target an area, and then you lay down, or you put the card in the middle of your Pro Controller. Okay, if you hear that little doo-doo, that means it's not working. I'm gonna put that away. Try a different one. Let's try this one. I got 1 to work and 1 to fail. Oh, there we go. Dropped a bunch of fucking fish on the ground. Okay. No, I can't hear you now, Carlos. How did you fuck this up? How did you fuck this up? I'm so upset with this person right now. Alright, we got the Tunic of Wind. That's pretty cool. Alright, I'm gonna pause while we get through some tech issues real quick. Why can you not hear me? What did you change in the 5 seconds it took me to start a recording, Carlos?
I did nothing.
What did you do? You were talking completely perfectly fine, and then the second I started, you just went ghosted.
Literally, this is the most frustrating part about this internet. Is I have no idea when this shit just fucking drops. And every
I thought you were pulling a bit, because I said
No.
Carlos would not shut up before I started to start the recording, and then you said nothing, and I was like, okay, now he's pouting. I thought for the life of me, because of the timing, you were doing a bit, and I was getting furious because I was like, I was gonna fucking lose it. All right, how much of that do I need to re-explain for you?
I caught as soon as you said
I hate this so
let's
much.
oh my god, I'm about to I have Fios coming in on Tuesday. This is the unofficial Fios video, because it's just it's gotten to the point where after speaking to everyone in my building, none of us have good internet, and we're all having issues. And I'm like, how much is this is my fault, and how much is this the actual internet provider?
Ooh, oh shit, that's huge. Flame guard. That's the thing you need to go in the mountain.
Oh, perfect.
Holy fuck. Okay. So yeah, I basically bought a bunch of NFC cards. I think that's what they're called. The whole point of them is that they basically spoof the amiibos, and this game has amiibo functionality where if you put it on your controller or whatever and scan it, you get items in game. So amiibo can't be used again today. Okay. There's one that gives Epona, and I want to try and get that one working. We got the Tunic of Wind before this. Okay, now the wind is blowing. But it just gives you a bunch of random shit, and then one of a rare treasure. So okay, sometimes it doesn't give the rare treasure. Let me see. I want to look for one of the ones that was supposed to have Epona. This one does, but I don't know if it has to be like in a certain like area to spawn upon. I might have to look into this. Come on. Okay, it's not working. I'll put this one aside. But yeah, this is like the only way to get Epona, is you have to use one of these. I'll use a couple of these because I feel like they get pretty broken pretty quickly. I'm trying to get the ones that have like the exclusive equipment. That's my big get. That's the one I'm like hoping for. Okay, can you maybe one of you work today? Maybe? Perhaps? Please?
Hey man, only one person's not allowed to work today.
I guess so. I guess I'm trying to look through some of the, like, it came with a whole bunch of them.
Get the legendary horse. Opponent requires you to have the Smash Link specific amiibo, which you have, whereby tapping it into the game will make opponent appear.
And that's it. Doesn't say anything else about opponent not working. I mean, some of these just aren't working, so maybe they don't all work. Opponent can only be summoned by an amiibo. It's impossible. Okay, whatever. Before you get too excited, read this whole page first. Suck my dick. I'm not reading all that. Oh, okay. Wait, that one didn't work at first, but then it did work. So maybe I'm just like scanning them wrong. Also, if I'm gonna summon an opponent, I should probably do it next to a stable, right?
It has to be somewhere where wild horses are.
Okay, that's what I was waiting for.
And of course, you want to start barking now that I've had an entire quiet day, Josie. I was supposed to watch my friend's dog today as well, but I had to cancel for the dog interview.
For the dog interview?
I mean, for the regular interview, but I was like, I
wait,
don't.
What? Are you reenacting the hit Tim Allen movie, Shaggy Dog?
Yes, that's how I'm living my life now.
But that dog,
I was just like,
things have gotten dire. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm in slightly better spirits now that I know Carlos wasn't playing a bit and committing way too hard to it and was in fact just having internet troubles.
That my life.
That was a big deal. I was getting mad. Maybe also, mad I should have been.
My iPad is dying now, and that's an even more like a big annoyance.
What do you mean dying?
Because it can't hold the battery, so it's like it's usually I only need to charge that thing once a day if it's just like laying there, and usually I only I leave it on the charger anyway because when I'm playing video games I usually have it open similar to your setup of it's open in front of me while I'm playing a video game or something with like YouTube open or like stream. Oh, there we go. So just usually it's my second screen. But now, and also I use it a lot when I'm cooking to like put TV on or as a secondary timer for stuff. But now that it can't hold the charge, it's literally dropping down to 6% whenever I have Hulu open, and I'm like, well, what's the point of you?
Oh, so does it not hold the charge even while plugged in?
Well, no, while it's plugged in, it's fine. But it's the issue is where my kitchen table is. There's nowhere for me to not put the charger, so that way it's not precariously across a bunch of shit.
I see.
So it's first world problems, but really more of of course this is happening when I don't want to go to the Apple store and drop $80 on fixing the battery.
Yeah.
But tracks. Yeah, it's
opponent is so shiny. Can I please target the other person? There we go. Yes.
In other news...
Oh, the bond is maxed out too. That's pretty cool. What's the other news?
I did finally start Elden Ring.
You did, and your message wasn't... oh, isn't this Epona, the Horse of Legend? What are you thinking? You can't rename a Horse of Legend? Pretty sure there's a law against that. So Epona it is. Wow. So this is so weird. There's one thing about there's one thing about how do I put this? When you gate content behind DLC, I almost think gating content behind an amiibo is worse by a lot.
Honestly, yes.
You now have to rely on physical scarcity unless someone does what happened with me and they change it up. How do I... There's a way to customize the horses, and I don't remember how to do it.
I still think that amiibo shit was the worst fucking thing is the dumbest fucking thing in the world.
It's not great. Alright, we have opponent now, so that's pretty cool. There are other items I can get, like exclusive equipment. I might do that off screen and just kind of go in through and scan them all. Just to try and get some extra items and stuff. It may break the game a little bit. So like I might just leave the resources that it gives and just only take the equipment. But we'll see. We'll see. But I think it's pretty cool. There's like a lot of exclusive equipment. Like a lot. But I'll sort through that later. But yeah, it gave me a little case. So I got a bunch of them. It's pretty cool. I'm kind of excited to be able to use it for future stuff, like in Tears of the Kingdom. Get the different colored gliders, whatever it is. All right, we left off. We're gonna do this.
I'm glad you talked me out of watching the video for Tears of the Kingdom because like I have no idea what's going on. And I'm only seeing like the edges of the discourse.
So like people are talking about it again. I know about one of the new mechanics, and I won't share it with you just in case. But it's the fusing mechanic. I guess I'll just say for those who want to know what I'm talking about. I know about that just because from what other people have said. I haven't watched the video. But it's like my philosophy on viewing this stuff is I already know I'm going to buy the game. So why would I, oh my God, what the fuck is this? Oh, I hate it. Ew, it's so icky.
No, you can't just cheese it.
I really can't. Okay. I can kind of cheese it. But yeah, I was talking about it where it's like, I'm already going to buy the game. So why would I want to watch stuff on it ahead of time? Like, I know that builds hype, but I don't need hype. I'm already getting it. So, like,
yeah,
it's just going to make the wait harder, which is, like, the last thing I want to happen. Of course, it's temporary. I should have known. What's the crouch button? It's been a while. It's only been a week. Wow, I can't believe that didn't work. I really thought I was going to make it.
I feel like a lot has changed in a week.
Like what?
Oh, now I finally have interviews. There's a chance this might end.
Oh, yeah. You're going to be employed, which means that the series is over. We'll have to end it.
Well, no, it will just change in tone.
It'll no longer be the Unemployment Chronicles. It'll be the Reemployment Chronicles.
It'll be just me complaining about having a job again and talking about how great it was to not have a job.
It really will.
But the one thing I'm doing is I'm telling all these places I'm still fully employed because like I still kind of am. So I keep telling them like, oh yeah, I'll need to put in my 2 weeks, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna take those 2 weeks for being for full debauchery, for
like an actual fucking vacation, and not Juliana telling you to apply for jobs.
Oh my God, yeah, fucking oof. She's in Vegas now,
gambling on a new future. What?
No.
She's like, my man isn't providing. I need to find other income.
But it was like I dropped her off at the airport. Yeah, I am. I came home and I was like, cool, let me cook. Got stoned and watched
see, because I remember last night I got a message from Carlos that was it was really crazy how Undertaker threw Mankind off the top of a Hell in a Cell and how it changed everything. And I said, yeah, it was a big deal. And then you were like it was so dangerous. And I was like, are you high right now? And then you responded back, okay. Or I think you responded back like, fuck you. And I was like, so that's not a no. Like,
oh no, I texted you back, okay, nigga.
That is what you said, yeah. And I was like, okay, all right.
Okay, let me tell you the thought process.
Here it comes.
So usually it started off on some dumb shit of I started watching You Got Served because
you did send me snaps of that. I didn't respond, but I was like, what the fuck is this?
I had taken the dog on a long walk, and I was listening.
And naturally,
to,
you got served is what you need to go to after that.
Well, no, I was listening to like early 2000s hip hop, and I was just like, oh, what's a movie that has like early 2000s hip hop while I can like play with her in the ball, like, and just get her energy out to that way, because she has to put on an ointment, and then you have to let that sit for 30 minutes. Yeah, she has like a bump. So it's like you have to let it sit for a little bit. So I'm like, I need something, like, I can't hold her down and play something at the same time. So I was like, all right, let me put on You Got Served. I started watching You Got Served, and then I was like, this movie is like
Drumline.
Honestly, we were like 2 steps removed from that. That probably will make the rotation sometime this weekend.
Oh my God.
But it was just like, I was watching it, I was like, this movie feels like they filmed all of it in one day, wrote all the dialogue in one day, and was just like, the studio told us we have 2 days to finish this shit, and like horrible. And so, and for some reason, my mind then wandered. I was like, oh, remember the Elimination Chamber?
What do you mean? There's no connection there.
I have no idea how I got the connection from Elimination Chamber from You Got Served to Elimination Chamber.
That's,
so then I decided
that's genuinely funny. Those are not related.
Oh, I think I was on TikTok, and I think I might have saw like a wrestling TikTok of like, oh, this year in wrestling or something. And so I was like, oh, let me watch an old Elimination Chamber match. And I was watching one with like Undertaker and Batista, and I was just like, man, like Undertaker, as he is one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. My hot take with the Undertaker has always been, he really doesn't have that many good watchable matches. Like, he was a guy.
Hey, you lay off of Terry, okay? All right. Let's relax. I just wanted to show that his real name is Terry, and I think it's very funny for someone called the Undertaker.
His name is Michael.
Who the fuck is Terry then?
Hulk Hogan.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
Oh, right. No.
I think I am
Undertaker
right. Isn't it Terry?
Mark.
Mark, that's what it was.
Mark,
yes, that's right.
Mark.
Hey, wait a minute. You don't think? No, I can't. Anyway, move on.
And so, like, I watched Elimination Chamber. I was like, it was a good fun match. And I was like, again, when you're watching wrestling high, it's just like, oh, this is a lot of fucking fun. And I was like, you know what's a great fucking match to watch high? I was like, I haven't watched Mankind versus Taker Hell in a Cell in so long. Let me check that out. And I'm watching it, and this is where I realize I'm getting old.
I've known for a while.
And as soon as Taker throws Mick Foley off the fucking Hell in a Cell, I'm really just like, dog, what the? Imagine being in that arena and being like, oh fuck, that guy just died. He's gotta be dead. We've never seen that before. But yeah, wrestling is fun, and all like, I love how ridiculous it is. And having access to Peacock when you're stoned is like the ideal way to.
Is wrestling tied to Peacock? That's interesting.
Yeah, they used to have, the network used to. I think it still is. Like, you can get the network in and of itself, but now it's on Peacock. And when you're paying $5 a month, like my cousin is, you do have commercials, but at least it's like the commercials come between the matches, so you're not missing anything. But you can just like. It has the highlight feature, so it's just like, cool, I know right where to get, like, the end of the entrance and the beginning of the match, or you want to watch the entrances. Because honestly, I like watching the entrances. The only bad part is, like, when they lose rights to the music or some other...
I've said for so many years that the hold the music industry has on the movie, TV, and video game industry is wild. I definitely, and this is a personal thing, I fully admit that. I don't think of the music industry as the strongest of those three, and it's insane that they have the strongest legal protection. That's how I feel about it. It's just like a wild law that is just cited so frequently. With the whole point being that, like, what if people use this to watch or to listen to this music for free? I'm like, nobody is doing that. Nobody's replaying the Undertaker's intro to watch the fucking or to listen to the fucking music. To listen to Rollin'. Like,
well, my thing is always, why not try to get that shit to like get you some actual streams? Because the way I started listening to a lot of those songs was like, oh, someone illegally pirated this old WWE match with the original music. Oh, I kind of like that song. Let me go check. Let me go find it streaming or legally somewhere.
If you remove it
and I'm
altogether, then now you got nothing. Like now nobody's getting anything.
As well as I'm like,
it's not like you're protecting your property. It's like everyone loses is what it feels like.
Exactly. Like there's one of the best wrestling entrances of all times is like Sandman enters in 2005 to a Metallica song, and now you can't find the actual, like, unless you're lucky enough to have the DVD somewhere, you can't watch his original opening unless you want to find it on like Daily Motion at 240p with the actual music and all the fans singing along. Instead they just play some generic fucking metal music over it, and then you can't hear anything. And so it's just like, oh yeah, all this gravitas of this big entrance of like the crowd singing along and chugging beers, like that's all gone now. The new fan who's coming in to check this out is like, okay, why is this awkward music over everything? Like, what's going on?
So my big thing is, like, I would love to defend it from the artistic point of view. Like, obviously that comes first, in my opinion, my personal opinion, of, like, you've ruined the flow of this, you've ruined it for yourself, etc., etc. But I think the bigger thing is that, it doesn't even make, like, financial sense most of the time. Like, you can't even defend this, like, from a capitalist point of view. You're just removing yourself from the equation. I'm like, how is this beneficial to you? Oh boy, we're really threading a needle here right now.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't remember exactly where I'm supposed to go here. Like, do I have to go here first? That doesn't even look like it's connected here. Oh yeah, it is.
The thing that's fucking me up is like, I forgot, like, you gotta go to that telescope, and then from there is how I got over here.
What
and
telescope?
Then, like, I remember going, there's like maybe I'm misremembering it. It's like a shop or something. After you go over the Zoras, like, you're up on that top of the hill, there's something on another mountaintop, and I just remember.
Oh, in the top
like,
right, the ancient like research city. Oh fuck, is that a guardian? Uh-oh. Alright. Don't look up. Don't look up. Keep going in your weird pattern. Don't look up. Don't look up. Please don't look up. Uh-oh. I know that music.
Come on, you son of a bitch.
Oh, whoa. I can see HP? Why the fuck can I see HP all of a sudden?
You can always see HP.
No, like numbers.
Oh, I think it happens at a certain point.
Alright, that worked out. Thanks, man.
I forget what the trigger for it is. Oh, now I gotta Venmo someone $700 for fucking Bachelor Weekend.
Wait, their Bachelor Weekend?
Their Juliana's brother's Bachelor Weekend.
I was just really quickly trying to figure out if you had accidentally planned a bachelor party for yourself without inviting me, and I would be like, that's really rude.
No, I haven't even fucking thought about that shit.
No, I know technically it's on me to plan it, but I would plan something low key, and I don't know that that's what you want. So,
well, no. Here's the thing: is what I was planning to do is figure out location, have a Zoom call or something with everyone I'm planning to invite, and then like from there, you would do logistics of like, okay, you'd find the Airbnb or hotel we'd stay at and like whatever. And then I'm also thinking of like, maybe I just fucking get rid of all that and just like do a New York City thing, because it'd be cheaper. It'd make it a lot more convenient for everyone who already lives in New York to just be like, cool, I'll stay at my crib.
So,
and then for all my non-New York friends to just like, oh yeah, there are other places to stay, or you could stay.
Just figure it out. Yeah, I think we should do that, and I'll tell you why. I think that if we do this in an equivalent exchange kind of situation, where I plan yours and then you plan mine, I think I get the worst of both worlds. I think I have to go through the logistical nonsense of planning an out-of-state bachelor party for you, while then you plan my bachelor party that I probably won't enjoy, and will probably be filled with logistical nightmares because you're just bad at this stuff. So, like, I feel like it's a raw deal for me, so I don't know that we should plan each other's.
No, I'll say this. Bachelor party... The thing my stance with bachelor parties, because Juliana goes on a litany of bachelorette parties.
Oh yeah, she has like 500 friends. Like,
yeah, well, I go to the guy equivalent of those. And what's funny to me is always Juliana goes on these bachelorette parties where they're doing all these things throughout the day, and with the dudes, it's really like the game plan is survive until 7 o'clock, and then from 7 o'clock engage in like, depending on where you're located in. So sometimes like my friend who had a New York bachelor party had a fun time of like they started eating in one borough, then they went to a spa, then we went to a big like a big bar and we're drinking there. Then we had dinner plans, and then we went to another bar, and then we ended the night at like a club on the outskirts of the city. Like, great fun time. And then another one is like we're renting a house, and pretty much the only guaranteed thing on the itinerary is to go to a Yankee game, but everything other than that is like, oh cool, we're just gonna chill in the house and barbecue all day. So it's just gonna be chilling and drinking and like hanging out.
See, that's what I think would be really fun. Is just like rent out like an Airbnb or somewhere, just like grill and shit the whole day, and like play video games and watch movies and probably get snubbed.
Just yeah. So my thing is like, my thing is mostly I want that as well as to have a nightlife opportunity of like, okay, because in my mind that first night you're probably gonna, so many people are gonna go so hard that the second night is probably going to be like a night of recovery to like hang out, get high, and like game and whatnot. So that's my idea of like, but also depends on like a litany of circumstances as well as where I'm getting married. Because if I'm getting married if I decide to get married in Massachusetts, then I'm like, it's in New York. If I'm doing it in New York, then I'm like, maybe I do choose to go somewhere else. A Boston bachelor party.
But this is what I mean, where it's like you have so much expectations for your own bachelor party that I kind of feel like, I don't know, man. It seems like the onus should be on you. Like,
no. I'm fine with that. Honestly, the only thing is, as well as I have like Juliana's friends contingent. I have my friends, and just like having to bridge those gaps in terms of like experiences would be the only thing. Because I feel like most of like the people who I'm inviting is like they're cool either way. It's mostly just trying to figure out something that leaves the whole group like entertained. But and then it's like depending on the time of year that I do it, that's another aspect of like we could go somewhere warm, but I don't ever want to go to Miami again. So it'd probably be somewhere like.
Aren't you banned from Miami?
I'm not banned from Miami. I would love to be banned from Miami. Miami is like the worst city I've ever been to, and I don't understand people who like it.
But yeah, real quick, I don't think we should talk about this right now for the specific reason of like, I've had a busy week, and this is stressing me the fuck out. I'm like, like that. That's how I feel inside.
Honestly, like, I'll probably be so hands-on about it, but whatever. Back to me playing. I've started playing Elden Ring.
I was gonna say you didn't really talk about that. How far did you get? And did you play it high like an idiot?
No, that game you can't play it high.
You can, but we can't.
Yeah, I am not good at that game in the slightest.
Well, yeah, because you have no experience in those kind of games. You gotta like earn that experience or build it.
Not only like no experience, but also like I die, and that game doesn't make me like I'm slowly getting. I'm working into it. I'm trying to peel this onion, but at the end of the day, I keep coming back to this thing of I don't like the combat that much.
Well, that's you're gonna get crucified for this. That's a weird and very broad statement because the combat is very dependent on what kind of weapon or like playstyle you decide on. Like it varies greatly. Like, did you do a magic build? Did you a physical build? Are you doing two-handed weapons? Are you dual wielding? Are you doing shield and sword? Like, there's so many different ways, and they all play differently. Like, what special attacks are you using? What summons are you using? Like, they all. It's not just like a. I'll say this about like kind of Souls games. It's not like the traditional sense of like what's a good way to say it? Like, you know how in some games you can be like, oh, I'm just not going to use that mechanic. You can't really do that in a Souls game. Like, you can, but it's more often it's like, okay, I'm not going to use that mechanic in this way, but I will use it for this.
Okay. Because, like, I'm still very early on in the game. And like, the other issue I'm having is, like, it's too open to the point where I'm like, oh, cool.
So it is, but it isn't. You're gated. There's basically, like, the first boss is basically like a skill point check of, like, are you strong enough to fight this boss yet? Wow, that worked terribly.
So the part where I'm stuck at, as well as I think the biggest issue I'm having right now is I got, like, the piece of the map. And there's a guy with a big spear, and I keep thinking, like, I can kill all the small guys, fine. The guy with the big spear is, like, literally, he's killed me multiple times, and to the point where I'm like, am I just too weak and I need to go find better items? Or is it like, no, dog, this is a very easy enemy, and I should go forward? So, like, my thing is, I don't know yet what is the point where I should abandon something? Wow, they fucked you up.
I don't know how to solve this.
I'm trying to figure out in a short way. I'm trying to figure out what are the signs to abandon. Where in Assassin's Creed or something, I can give you open world.
I can give you a definitive answer on that. If you're struggling in a part, just move on. Okay. That's basically the idea. Is that if you're struggling and you don't really feel like it's something you can get without bashing your head against a wall, just move to a different place. That's what makes Elden Ring better than a traditional Souls game, in my opinion. And by the way, I have not beaten Elden Ring. I've beaten, like, the first 2 major bosses, and I'd, like, put it down for something else and haven't gone back yet. But I want to. But the big thing is that, like, the whole charm of that game is that if you're struggling with something, just go somewhere else. Get some levels, beat up some other people, find some treasure and shit like that in a different place, and then come back to the place you're struggling with before. And basically just do that the entire game. Just anytime you're stuck, move somewhere else. Until, obviously, there's a point where you can't really move forward anymore. Oh, fuck. Fuck. This will go well. No, just go over me. There we go. Haha! No, please.
Nope, it's not happening. Oh, no. Wow. Just freeze it.
I needed the cooldown for a second. Okay. Yep.
You ain't getting that, dog.
So I managed to knock 2 of them back here. So I made it from, instead of 5, I only had to do with 2. I don't know what the correct way to do that is. Anyway. Yeah, don't bash your head against a wall. The whole, like, my favorite thing about Elden Ring is that it's open world, because Dark Souls isn't, and I know you haven't played that. Dark Souls will be like, here's, like, one of, like, a couple paths you can take and try and figure it out, and they're all hard. Elden Ring is like, go wherever you want. There's some bait, like, there's that golden, like, knight in the early area that's, like, very clearly bait, like, you're not supposed to fight him immediately. You can, but it's not, like, you don't, like, they clearly don't want you to. And then there's just, like, the smaller enemies and stuff like that, and you go from there. It's also worth just, like, if you're, like, struggling, just kind of, like, sneak around and see what you can pick up in the area without actually having to fight anyone.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing. I've been slowly, like, trying to, like, take guys out. It's part of it is I'm trying to figure out when I'm being too greedy and when I need to fall back. And yeah, I'm gonna keep trying. I'm giving it at least this until Juliana comes back. Because then I'm like, I've given you 4 days. If I can't get it, it is what it is. But yeah, we'll see.
Of course. And if you need someone to swoop in and show you how to play a video game again, let me know. And not right now though, because I haven't played, so I don't remember what I was doing. But yeah, I don't know. Oh my god, this guy's nose. I think that's probably a hint, yeah. Alright, I guess I can go back to the tower. I just wanted to do that quick, that shrine real quick, because I saw it. Actually, I should grab another heart while I'm out and about.
Sorry, something else I wanted to talk to you. There was something I was going to talk to you about last night, but I was like, oh, let me save this, and now I can't remember.
You don't remember it? Isn't that always the case?
It was like something I was.
I've run into that constantly.
Oh, actually, I was something. So, at one point, I did decide to game a little bit last night. So I reinstalled Uncharted Lost Legacy. And the funny thing is that there's something about that Uncharted that both works for me and always makes me go like, I should put this down and do something else. It's the only Uncharted game I've never replayed.
That's very weird. So real
actually,
quick,
no, I don't
based on this, there was something that we did want to talk about. And I remember this now, and you were not happy about the idea, but I think we should talk about it because I think it's good content. And it's this morning, I found a list that Carlos had made in I think it was 2010, of his favorite video games of all time.
Where did you put the list? Because I didn't get a message.
I sent it to you on Facebook. Basically, I got one of those Facebook memory messages that was like, "Hey, this happened a couple years," and like you had tagged me in this post, and so I got it, but it was Carlos had written out his 20 favorite games as of 2010, and this is back when Carlos was like trying to get into journalism, so that's why it was like a writing exercise, and I do think you're a talented writer, but I also think that you were 16, 17 at the time, and you know,
some things deserve to die.
But it's not so much the exact wording that I want to read out because some of that wording is not appropriate anymore. But I'm sorry to throw your mortality at you, by the way. But it was more I wanted to see if your stance on those games had changed or altered, or what had changed in 13 years.
The funny thing is, I don't remember my login to Facebook.
I wish I could send it another way, but I can't.
The worst part is like for some reason Messenger's like you can't see this, dog. This ain't like.
This isn't for you. It's like it's protecting you. It doesn't want you to have to look at it.
It doesn't want me to open up that can of worms of like straight up memories.
What is this? Just some random junk. Okay.
Yeah, Facebook is so funny to me because it's like, it's a social media platform that I'm on there, and I'm just like, yeah, I guess I just have to be on here. And I never
use it
on it anymore.
So I don't view it as often. I definitely view Twitter.
I can't see it.
How come?
For some reason, it's just a blank box.
I can I can pull it up, but then but I'm playing, so I don't know how that's gonna work. If we do if we do another one, I can pull it for you and copy and paste it in between and just like send it to you in an email.
Wait, could you try to send it to me as a text, or is that too much?
I don't think it's gonna work. You know what? Let me do this real quick. We'll be right back. The problem with be right back is that usually I'm like super quiet, so I know to cut it. But then like I'm still talking to you, so I don't know how that's gonna work.
Damn, people that went to college with you getting pregnant. That's not great.
Sounds bad for them. Sorry.
It
sounds like a personal problem. Okay.
Oh, someone that I went to.
I can absolutely copy and paste this whole thing. Hold on. You're gonna love this. I know you're gonna love this. I'm not gonna say your email out loud just in case I forget to cut it, but I'll tell you when I said it. You can text it to me right now just to confirm it.
Okay.
Is it the 9 one? I can just.
Yes.
Okay,
yes, that's my email.
Feel free to read this out verbatim before you change it. Obviously, avoiding certain words. And sent.
Oh God!
This can of worms. Here we go. I'm so excited for you to read it. I'm excited for you to discover it again.
I hate it, man. I hate knowing that I existed.
There are 20 of them.
Yeah, which is kind of crazy to me that. Oh, all right. Oh, fuck. Okay. All right.
I love it. I love it so
honorable
much.
mentions: Prince of Persia: Sands of Time. Understandable. Halo. Understandable. Sly Cooper 1? No. No.
Did not crack your top 20. Sly Cooper 1 did not
No.
crack your top 20. You, in fact, said it was an honorable mention. And I think that's changed since then.
It shouldn't be in the honorable mentions. And also, Sands of Time, honestly, might go up more because there hasn't been games... There hasn't been games like that, but let's see. FIFA 06. Yeah, I'm with that.
Really? I thought that one would change. You think that's where FIFA perfected it and they kind of fucked up since?
Yes and no. It's just like the off-field stuff that FIFA 06 implemented was so good in terms of like, oh, you can negotiate sponsorship deals.
Can you do me a favor though? Can you read out your descriptions? Like, obviously, again, vetting them.
FIFA 06, greatest sports games of all time, better controls, graphics, new auto growth system for the players led to a more realistic game of soccer. Also made the wing game more important than simply just having to put the ball to a forward and sprinting. Yeah, that was...
That sounds legit.
Yeah, that was it. It was a bit more dynamic. Sly Cooper 2, kids game, still fucking great gameplay and the color use in the game. Also, great story, helps immerse more than making you feel blank for playing a kids game. Not great.
Helps make you feel because you feel dumb for playing a kid's game. And by the way, what a pompous attitude!
Exactly.
Can you imagine like getting that? So by the way, don't forget the numbers. 17
Kingdom Hearts the original. I stand by that. If you haven't played it yet, get on it. Usually don't play RPGs. Haven't done that. It's like Final Fantasy and Zelda had a child. Very, very entertaining.
That's not how I describe Kingdom Hearts, Final Fantasy, and Legend of Zelda. I mean, there is a combination you could describe it as, and it's a pretty well used one. It's Final Fantasy and Disney, Carlos. Like,
oh no. What I meant.
I know you meant, but it's just really funny to read it out that way. I'm like, you missed the big one.
Nah, fuck Disney.
But also, it has Aladdin. It's a nice touch.
Mercenaries is at 16.
That's what surprised me. Is that that was the one you talked the most about in the comments too.
But like the thing I like to look back on it, Mercenaries is so crazy to me that we haven't had.
We have already talked about it, and I think we've talked about it in the series.
Of
how good Mercenaries was as a concept and how crazy is we haven't gotten another one.
In some ways, the originator of the blow shit up type game, yes, that you can literally blow pretty much up everything. Also, the shooting was spot on, and the driving / map size was good.
I don't know if the driving was good.
No, I don't remember the driving actually being that good, but also there were two maps with two different like geographies and whatnot. That was cool. 15 was Infamous. Which I'm like,
that's pretty low.
Yes. Despite Infamous, relatively new game, fantastic. Finally made superhero fun. No more having to go to Beautiful Joe for decent superhero experience.
No more having to go to Beautiful Joe.
No more missing Hogwarts.
What an old sentence. No more having to go to Beautiful Joe. I didn't read that part. That's so good. I'm just Beautiful Joe, finally, you no longer have to go to Beautiful Joe. Said everyone.
Everyone was like, yo, we need another one. Spider-Man 2 was great. Getting to shoot electricity is fun. Also, great story. Overall, good twist.
Can you stop rushing through this? We got time. Embellish, Carlos.
No, I'm not.
We're doing this for content. You got to do it for the people. They can't read it. You got to read it for them.
Yeah, we don't. I don't want them to read it.
I want you to read it for them.
I'm arguing the merits of the opinion, but Beautiful Joe, honestly, Beautiful Joe, that's a game that we need a remaster of.
I'm just saying you can read out the bad opinions and then like say how it's become better. Like you can be like, this is what I used to say, this is what I think now.
Yeah. Call of Duty 2. Oh no, wait. Number 14, Wind Waker. Most violent Zelda game at the time. Correct.
Isn't Twilight Princess in this fucking list?
Probably, but no. Wind Waker is heavier than that because it's the only Zelda game where he fucking just plants that shit in the middle of Ganon's forehead, and that's how the game ends.
Okay.
Boat mechanics were fun. Also, just sailing sea, looking for what could possibly be around. Plus, a nice twist. The old story gets it close to top 10. At 14, it's not really that close. Wind Waker. We talk about enough about Wind Waker.
We've talked
Call of
about
Duty
Wind Waker.
2. Number 13, Call of Duty 2, best World War II game ever made.
I don't know that
I don't
I've
think
played
we-
Call of Duty 2. I also don't know that it's currently the best World War II game ever made. I think World at War was probably a little bit better.
No, I would still probably put Call of Duty
interesting.
2 as best World War II game. I don't think it should be in my top 20.
That's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
Because
No,
I know your stance on shooters has drastically changed in 13 years. That I could think of.
Yeah, we don't need that. Metal Gear Solid, one of the best stories ever told. Also very fun sneaking around with Solid Snake. Plus, first time a 3D game was really something to write home about.
I don't think that's
That's a
true.
weird take.
I don't think that's true. I love
I'll
that.
say it.
I love that. Metal Gear is the first. It's the first time a 3D game had ever been something.
First good 3D game.
It was Metal Gear Solid on PS1. Oh my god.
This is
Not
this is the more funny.
To be
This
clear,
is the more funny aspect of it.
to be clear, I love Metal Gear Solid. I think it's a very great franchise, and I think that Metal Gear 1 is a great game. First good 3D game is a bit of a snobby take. I'll say it. Just like
It's also not really that much of a 3D game, and
no,
Nick, this is the,
it's isometric almost.
Wait until the next game on the list.
I've read it. I know.
Super Mario 64.
Which came out before Metal Gear, by the way.
Yeah. Honestly, yeah, not on the list.
I don't know that you proofread this. Like,
No, I didn't at all. But Super Mario 64 shouldn't be on the list. I would
Really?
go so far. Yeah, I don't. The older I've gotten, the less I've liked the Mario games, to the point where I'm always just like, when people are like, "Oh, those games are great," I'm like, "Are we playing a different game fundamentally here?"
my
yeah.
my take on the Mario games is I think 64 has aged badly, except for a couple like fan made like quality of life mods. I do like Sunshine still, and I've heard Odyssey is really good, but it's not my particular cup of tea.
I played Odyssey and it was fine, but the thing I always have with every
No, I'm sorry,
Mario game is
sorry, not Odyssey. I've heard that Galaxy
right?
and Galaxy 2 are very good, and I haven't played it. I have played Odyssey. I didn't beat it. I came pretty close, but eventually I was just sort of like, I think I've played enough.
Yeah, I would rather play something else.
That's what it came down to. Is that it's so weird because I do like 3D platformers. Like the Jack, Sly, and Ratchet games are fantastic, and I would love more of them. I don't know why Mario doesn't click for me. I don't know why.
same.
It should, like, in theory it should.
But this is a perfect transition. Number 10, Jack 2.
We were just talking about this when I read that. I was like, no fucking way. I was so surprised, and I was like, yeah, I guess that tracks. That figures.
Second in the series, but overall best game due to it being the first time in the city with guns and having a story with enough twists and turns that really kept the person in. What the fuck is with me and twists?
I love that you were like, finally,
Yeah,
they added guns to Jack and Daxter. You were exactly the kind of person that they targeted. It's so funny.
Yeah, shout out to them.
Because looking back, it's compared to the original, it's no fucking contest. The original is so much better. Like, the lack of guns makes that significantly a better game. And it's just very funny that it's like, that's like a more mature opinion. Because as a kid, I'm like, guns must be good, hooray! Like, it's just
No, my stance with the, like, this is the one thing where I diverge with the rest of the Jack fan base is like, nah, I legitimately have no interest in ever playing Jack and Daxter 1 again. I will load up Jack 2 to replay.
Have you replayed Jack and Daxter in your adulthood?
Yeah.
When?
I replayed it one time in college, and I was just like, yeah, this game is fine.
I suggest playing it again, because I think you've changed since college as well.
Yeah,
I think you would enjoy it.
yeah,
I think you probably enjoy it more given your current tastes.
True. That would be a good 3D platformer to get going.
It'd be a good one.
Number
not for nothing. Good one while you're high.
Oh yeah, true. Number 9, Eco, which
Yeah, I could see it. I don't know if you still agree with it, but I could see it. It's not a bad take by any means.
originality that most games lack. True.
Yeah, sure.
Sure, that's well paced to make sense at the end of it. No. Puzzles that make the gamer think rather than shoot at a moving target.
Make the
yeah.
gamer think. Puzzle that makes the gamer think is such a fucking Just,
It was a different time.
it feels like
only
you're.
drawback
It
to
feels
Eco.
like you're writing for Game Informer. Like it's just so.
Only drawback to Eco was sometimes it did not keep my overall attention, which is true. It can be a little slow, and if you're like, I need something a bit more grabby, like that's an atmosphere game. It is a vibe though. If you haven't played Eco, I recommend like go get that HD collection. It's a lot of fun.
I personally haven't. First of all, you're showing people to get a PS3 game.
Oh fuck! It's on the.
I don't think actually. First of all, isn't it Ico, not Eco? But I haven't.
Okay, police.
I have I haven't played it because I couldn't really get through Shadow of the Colossus. I want to like that game so much, and I just can't. So like I haven't really messed with that or The Last Guardian, but people do speak very highly of the games. Okay, how do I?
Yeah, that's a really cool one. Number 8 is Super Smash Brothers Melee.
You know,
The only game that
it's not your worst.
I
take.
get it.
It's not. We put it hours spent. You know, it's up there.
Yeah, especially I played
Especially
the
back
fuck out of
then.
that game.
Like,
Yeah.
we played the
one
fuck
game
out of that game.
This sentence, granted, is an issue. The one game that everyone in the free world has played. No. Fantastic fighting game. It had depth, unlockable characters, and plus for a while it came with every.
Whoa,
it
whoa,
came
hold
with
on.
the GameCube.
Hold on, unlockable characters. Whoa.
All
In a
right.
fighting game? No way.
Suck my dick. Number 7. Ratchet and Clank.
Hey, I don't think the first one is the best by any
No.
means.
That was wrong.
Like
The one game in this.
I like Ratchet and Clank, but I also think that 3 is definitely superior in the PS2 trilogy, and then 2 after that, and then even Deadlock before 1, I think.
Yeah, I think Deadlocked is a lot better game.
I'll bet Deadlock's on that list, though.
No, it's not.
That's interesting. 'Cause it's definitely your favorite, so it's so weird.
But it also might have been like depending on
I think Deadlock
when this came out.
I think Deadlock would have been out by then.
because GTA 4 is number 5 on this list.
We would have been juniors in high school at this point.
Yeah. The one game in the series that actually kept your interest. Whoa. Charles, back the fuck up. I will fight you.
Wow. I love you disagreeing with yourself. Like,
Yeah.
that's
Being
such
mad aggressive. Being mad aggressive for
the
no
one
reason.
game in the series that holds your interest. Wow.
Mad aggressive. Entire time you thought you only had one more level and the game was over, but the story kept going.
That's not all how that game is played.
Well, no. This.
I'll agree. There's a false point where you think the game is about to end and then it doesn't, but not every level. Like,
No. Okay. In my defense of that game, my slight defense of this game, the first time I played it was very young, so in my mind's eye, the way I was interacting with the story very different. Oh, because also like a dumb thing is like I was comparing it with like Jack and Daxter because I got both games at the same
that's
time.
not dumb. They're pretty similar. Like in
Yeah,
the
and I
very
just-
broad sense, they're similar games.
And I just remember Ratchet and Clank had a lot more forward momentum of me actually engaging with it and thinking like, oh yeah, like there's going to be a lot more story content. And each time I went to a new planet, there was a lot more story content that made me feel like, oh, this thing is like, we're really moving here. Where Jack and Daxter always felt like this is a lot slower. It's like, cool, you got to the next section, get the number of power cells you need, and then we'll continue going. Where Ratchet and Clank was like, oh, you get to this world, you solve this thing, you interact with people and shit. And I was always like, this is a lot more engaging for me. But yeah, it's not top 20 now, but I understand the thought process. Twilight Princess at 6.
That's low. That's low.
That's way too high.
That's high.
I'm saying perfection. Granted, it did not have the originality that some other games had. True, it was the first game to make Hyrule seem like a real place with real people. Interesting side quest. Being able to be a wolf. Yes. Also, finally, again, in boss battle that felt like the end all be all. This is one of the best Zeldas. Yeah, I do. The ending boss fight of Twilight Princess is really cool. Grand Theft Auto 4 at number 5.
Interesting.
Might need to go higher.
Yeah, I could see
Might
it.
need to.
For you,
the
I
way-
can see it. I think Grand Theft Auto was a big game changer for you. I think that was Grand Theft Auto had a very big effect of like, oh wow, video games can they can do things to you. Like they can make you feel things and experience them. They can think about things.
Not only that, but 4 had more of the immersive sim shit, and that's where I think that's what I really like.
The immersive stuff is kind of divisive at this point, but I can see what you mean.
Yeah, but like I remember being really cool again, being in high school and having. Like thinking this is what adults do is like you drive around, people call you on your
you
cell
drive
phone.
around, you go bowling, you call your friend to sell you guns from the trunk of a car, you know, like
exactly.
It's difficult things.
Yo, I'm coming out crazy on the first comma. Fuck San Andreas in 3.
Not Vice City though. That's interesting.
No, Vice City gets this GTA actually has an involving plot and good gameplay. San Andreas made it cool to be a gang member. GTA made it be cool from Eastern Europe. All right, wilding out.
San Andreas made it cool to be a gang member is such a wild sentence. Like,
yo, just
I don't know that you got the point of that game. I think
yeah,
I think you may have missed some details.
I needed to hire an editor. That's what I needed to do.
This is so fucking good, dude.
4 is Half-Life 1. Hey, yo, I get it. For like for 75% of Half-Life 1, that is arguably one of the greatest first-person shooters ever. And then that final 25% needs to be jailed. Yeah, play it. I don't care how you have to buy this game. It doesn't have the best story, which is right, but really great first-person shooter and great AI. Yes. And then number 3 is Half-Life 2. Hey, yo, no.
I wonder if you just played Half-Life when you made this list. Like,
honestly, no. Okay, yeah. All right.
I love you having these wild reactions and being like, well, I mean, like, just you're grappling with yourself.
Half-Life 2 is next.
What's the description?
Okay, I know right after Half-Life 1, but the game was the first one lacked, which is a story and some other guns and fantastic pacing. At no point in Half-Life 2 do you wonder, why am I doing this? But rather, why is my mom telling me to do something else? What the fuck is that sentence? Also, the fact that you never lose control like the first game is another reason you feel immersed. Alright, I get it. A little wonky. Half-Life 2, and including the episodes, which is important. It's cool. I don't think it's that high up anymore, but I really liked it. Number 2 is Ocarina of Time. Alright.
What's an ocarina?
Relax. It's a musical instrument. Some call it greatest game. Oh. It's not. Oh yeah, I think Ocarina.
You don't. Hold on. Can you go back on that? So you wrote Ocarina of Time as your number 2, which is a very, very bland take. Very cold take, I would say. But like, what has changed since then to make you not feel that anymore?
To make me feel like it's not the greatest game of all time.
Like, what changed? Why do you not think it's one of the greatest games of all time anymore?
I think the one thing is like it's the issue I have with Ocarina of Time isn't an issue with Ocarina of Time in and of itself.
Can you say Ock?
You had a formula.
Ocarina?
No, it's
Why?
Oak.
It's not Oak. There's no A. It's OC.
There's an O.
It's OC.
Anyway.
It's Ocarina of Time.
It's an oak.
It's not Ocarina of Time. What do you mean?
I'm not changing how I say this.
I guess not.
It's good. It's the thing is, again, like if that's the first Zelda you play and you move on from there, it's great. But it's like it's an important game. That don't make it a great game.
Sure, I can agree with that. I think Ocarina of Time was a very important game. What do you mean? I said it the way you say it.
I don't know. I'm just fucking with you. All right. I think people should engage with it. I don't think it
I understand why people rank it so highly. I personally don't rank it as highly, but I get it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not like fighting people on it.
But also, I played it when I was young, and I was like, "This is great." All right, and this is the one where I'm wilding out. I'm on crack. I'm wilding out. MGS4, Guns of the Patriots is number 1.
I wasn't sure how you'd feel about that one.
No.
Because you did really enjoy that game for a while. Like, that's true.
I think it's still flames. It's still fantastic.
Number 1?
Number 1, not number 1. Not even number 1 in the series.
So, first of all, this is a great exercise. I'm absolutely glad we did it because I think it's really brought out some interesting opinions. And I also just love you reading you from 13 years ago. It's just great. I will say, I think to counteract this, for our next recording sessions, we should I need more flame guard? Really? Oh my god, okay.
Yeah, you have to wear like a whole bodysuit.
I need at least one more piece of gear, I think. But I can also just take this potion. That's why I've been saving it. But yeah, I think we should to counteract this, we should for our next recording session write a list of our top 10, because then we can do, we can each do ours, and we can share with the masses, the unwashed masses, the opinion of the bourgeoisie. What? What? Huh? What? But you know what I mean?
Yeah, the thing that's weirder to me is like I'm looking at this list, and then I'm thinking like, what possessed me to like write this list?
I don't, because I remember you wrote a couple of things like this.
I remember it was a random fucking day, and I was like, I'm bored as shit. Let me just bang this list out, and like, well, also like early on in the days, I remember just stoking the fires of Facebook because I'd get bored and be like, let me just like start a little argument around.
That was your that was definitely your go-to.
That was
on more than one occasion. On more than one occasion, Carlos has done this, to the consternation of his peers.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot.
I remember people would talk to me in school of like, Carlos, why were like there's 75 comments on a fucking random ass post?
And you were like, you were like, listen, it was Wednesday.
Well, no, I was just like, I just want to hear what the people had to say. And I guess, honestly, I think having access to Facebook was one of the worst things that ever happened to me in high school. Because then I was just like, oh yeah, you can stoke the flames of a discussion just to like have people pay attention to you. Let's do that.
I mean, who would do that? Who would make a Facebook post just to get attention? That sounds wild. Like, it couldn't have been me. I would never do something that people would still bring up for years by making a post on Facebook about it. That sounds made up. I don't think anyone would do that. Carlos, I don't know why you're accusing me of doing this. I don't know what you mean. Like, I would never. Like, what are we even talking about? Who was even there?
The one sad thing about it though is just like Facebook. The fun part of it was you take the argument off like online, and then you like, oh, let's pick up conversation from last night at lunch and still having the conversation. So it was like fun. But now I'm like, yeah, I don't do that. If I post something on Twitter, that is a Twitter conversation. That's not real life. That's a different Carlos.
If someone brought up to you an opinion that you post on Twitter, you'd be like, what? Who are you? Like,
again, the time that Juliana saw me try to craft a tweet, I was just like, why am I doing this?
Oh,
I shut my laptop. And I was like, I'm not, no.
She kind of called you out. I don't have the money to buy the protective gear, and I don't have any more. I accidentally overwrote my flame protection potion, so to progress in that area, I'm gonna need to cook. We're gonna let him cook, so I might have to put that on pause for a hot moment.
I gotta do the fucking dishes after this.
That's what I was gonna ask. Do you want to record another one, or do you want to call it a day?
We can record another one. You got me until like 6:30. Then I gotta eat something.
Yeah, that's fine. Do you want me to? Do you want to take like a half an hour break so I can cook? And
no.
Oh, okay. No. All right. Well, okay. I guess we can go somewhere else then. If that doesn't work,
we're gonna work you like a sweatshop.
I guess so. It's.
No, we can take a 30-minute break.
Cool. I'll do some stuff offline. And just
you know what I'm gonna do, right? If we take a 30-minute break, right?
I do know what you're gonna do. That's part of why I suggest it, because I know you can't.
What do you think I'm gonna do?
I think you're probably gonna get high.
Oh no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm a Christian and a virgin.
No, of course.
Well,
what are you gonna do, Carlos?
I should. Oh, I was probably gonna watch How I Met Your Mother and come back with more opinions.
Oh my god, that's so much worse. Well, anyway, we're gonna call that one here. We made some progress. Ooh, what is this? Ooh. Designed with fighting in mind. It's a bit unwieldy, so it requires well-practiced technique to use efficiently. I kind of want to carry this. Let's get rid of this boomerang. I said get rid of it. Carlos came right back. Get it? Because like,
do boomerangs act like in real life? I should probably look this up and watch a video of it.
I'm gonna end this with one story about a boomerang. I went once to the beach when I was a kid. I would have been like 7 or something, like around that age, and I had like a small, like not styrofoam, but like almost boogie board material, kind of like 4-way boomerang. Like it was basically like a pinwheel almost. And I had been throwing it, like my parents got it for, I don't know, it must have been like $5 to $10. It was cheap. And I had been throwing it all day and it did not come back to me once. because of course not. And when I'm at the beach, I'm kind of like, I like pull it out, and there's some like kids who I didn't know nearby, and they're like, oh cool, what's that? And I was like, oh, it's a boomerang. Watch this. I threw it. It went way up into the air. The wind took it, blew it back, and it landed on my shoulder. And like literally, like, because it was styrofoam, it got stuck on my shoulder, so I like caught it, and it didn't hurt. So they were like, whoa, let me try. And they all tried and couldn't get it to work. And they were like, you've got to show us. And I was like, no, it's something you got to figure out on your own. Even at that age, I found a situation.
You were not trying to get exposed.
I found a situation, and I was going to keep that lie alive. And I think it's just so funny that, like, people are definitely at their core. Like, there's a certain age where they're already who they're going to be. Like, if that makes sense. Like, that's just been my life. It's just been like, I can't really get into detail, but trust me, I just can't believe how well it worked. It was like something out of, again, it was my sitcom life of like, yeah, of course that happened. Why wouldn't it? But thank you guys so much for watching. We're gonna head back to the mountain after this. I like my new helmet, even though it's horrifying. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you, Carlos, for your wonderful list. You know what you can do, Carlos, in this 30 minutes? You could write.
What?
You could write up, or you could like maybe pick like 5 of your top of all time, or 10. You don't have to be ready to discuss them, but you could just list them out.
All right, yeah.
If you need that or do the dishes, it's up to you. So.
You're probably gonna do that instead.
Why do your dishes take so long? It should take me like 5 minutes. How often do you do the dishes?
So yesterday I was a dumbass and I just used, because yesterday I thought I was gonna get home later from the airport and I was like, oh, I'll just buy like a sandwich, but I had gotten home earlier than anticipated, and I was looking at myself. I'm like, I can't realistically spend the money. I should just cook this dinner, and then, but like earlier in the day I was baking. I'm like, oh yeah,
Crows.
Nobody cares.
We're getting ready to wrap the video. I wasn't looking for another anecdote. I just how long does it take you to do the dishes?
I think it's around like 20 minutes or so.
That's too long to do the dishes. How many dishes are you washing?
I have to wash every fucking cup that Juliana screwed.
No. That's not what I asked. A number. Like.
Yeah, around 20 minutes at the most.
That's not what I asked. How many total dishes are you washing?
Oh, a bunch. I have no idea.
Oh my.
At least more than like 10.
That, first of all, I have a tiny sink, so like the most, like my maximum is like 10, and that would take me 5 minutes. So you're taking, it sounds like you're taking like 2 minutes per dish, which might be too long per dish.
It depends. It's a lot. Yeah.
I think
I could be quicker.
You could probably soak them. You could probably put some soap on them first. Give them a little rinse when you first use them, Carlos, because it sounds like you're putting as much filth on these as possible and then just throwing them in the sink and being like, that's future Carlos' problem, which is very in line with your character, so I believe it. But like,
you were a little bit.
Oh, so I hit the nail on the head. So you're telling me your best friend knows you pretty well? Crazy. Who could have guessed?
You don't know me. I don't fucking know you.
All right, everyone. See you next time.